I can't stop thinking about this seemingly simple question. How can you make a guy who is turned into a cat and tries to speak, but the only thing that comes out are meows? On the one hand, becoming a cat could be a cute story full of animal hijinks, but the thought of being trapped in a cat body, unable to speak, horrifying. Now, unfortunately, the only cat drawing I currently have from Lydia is this little guy from a print we sell, an astronaut cat in a bubble helmet that's sort of unceremoniously falling. But actually, this could be a human astronaut who fell into a portal and transmogrified into a cat. So let's chop him out and drop him on a background. I actually think this is a good opportunity to show the power of negative space in panel composition, because we can add to the tension of the fall with a huge amount of space below the little astro-cat. Now, just because the cat can only meow doesn't mean we can't infuse a bit of emotion into his speech. We can use slightly shaky balloons to nod to a trembling, fearful voice, then use bolded or unbolded text in combination with exclamation points and question marks. As far as what he's actually trying to say, we can pair each meow balloon with his internal thoughts to create the tension of what he's thinking versus what his cat vocal cords are actually producing. These thoughts could be styled as thought balloons, but it feels a bit more modern to use narration boxes. Just for fun, let's make a second panel without the cat, then make a long tail coming up from the bottom for the final meow. The implication here is a massive amount of speed. In just one panel progression, the cat fell through all that lower negative space all the way out of frame. But we're not done, because the more I looked at this, the more I thought there was something interesting in not revealing what he was actually trying to say. So I created an alt that erases his internal thoughts in favor of just 2 pathetic meows. I know this seems like it's removing the extra dimension of the character, but let's imagine that these 2 panels are actually the conclusion of one long character-building story. 20 pages of a brilliant scientist who we sympathize with because he's deeply driven by anxiety and imposter syndrome. He cannot stay quiet. In every scene, he talks himself through experiments with lengthy monologues that reveal just how terrified he is of failure. He's chosen to go on a space mission. He talks to himself for a couple pages, psyching himself up. The chance of a lifetime, a chance to become an astronaut. Eventually, he manages to work up the courage to go, but something goes wrong. The ship collides with a strange phenomenon. He's ejected from the craft and passes through a wormhole that transmogrifies him into a cat. After pages and pages of anxiety-driven monologues, we suddenly see him falling back to Earth, now a cat, and all he can say is, meow? Meow. To me, this feels like the ending of a Black Mirror or Twilight Zone episode, where the main character's only coping mechanism has been removed in a twist of cruel fate as they plunge back down to Earth. Without the narration boxes, we aren't even sure if he can still fully process his own thoughts. Of course, you could use the same story as the lead-up to the original narration box version, which preserves the character trait of monologuing through stress, but now that monologue is trapped in his head. It's up to you, the writer, to decide what type of cruel twist is more appealing.